Hulu has another hit on its hands with Candy, an eerie new true crime drama based on the case of Candy Montgomery, who was accused of the brutal axe murder of her best friend Betty Gore in 1980. Now, this story has fascinated people for decades, and we've got Jessica Biel and Melanie Lynskey playing the starring roles, so it is a no-brainer for me. Plus, we've got exclusive insight into the series with all the stars. You don't want to miss this. I'm Anna Rumer, and this is Pop Culture Social Call. Now, we know Jessica Biel can nail an intense character. I mean, hello, the sinner. But her transformation into the bubbly 1980s housewife who everyone loves is truly impressive. I mean, the hair alone is a masterpiece. But then, of course, she kills the wife of the man she's having an affair with. I mean, no one saw this coming. Jessica told me this about taking on the role.
She's such a fascinating person, and the story is just too crazy to be real, almost, is what it feels like to me. But I just love the pathology of a character like that, and I'm just interested in humans and why they do the things that they do. And I always think, like, wow, you know, we're all capable of anything. And I like to put myself right at the edge there and look over and be like, am I capable of this? You know, those are the questions that I'm always asking myself, specifically with a project like this. And the writing was just so wonderful. It was just so beautifully told, and just really had no doubt about wanting to be a part of it.
Timothy Simons, who plays Candy's husband, told me that Jessica was the perfect person to be Candy just based on her own skills as an actor and personality.
Jessica is sort of a magnetic person, and she's an incredible performer. And she's also, like, you know, on camera, she's incredible, and she's also fantastic on set. And I do think it's interesting that everybody that talked about Candy talked about her in that same way. She had a sort of magnetism. People were drawn to her. She was she was incredibly social. She gave everybody the sense that it was like that you were having a good time if you were around her. You know what I mean? And Jessie also has that as a performer.
Now, on the opposite end of the spectrum, we have Melanie Lynskey, who I fell in love with during Yellow Jackets and again nails the role of Betty, Candy's friend and neighbor who is really struggling with all the things she's expected to do and be as a wife and mother. Now, Melanie told me that while making Candy, she grew to be really protective over Betty.
I wanted to make sure her story was told in the fullest way possible, that you got an understanding of the fact that she was a woman who was really struggling and had absolutely no help in any respect, and just the loneliness of that, of being somebody who needed help and was getting it from nowhere in the time when everyone was supposed to just be like, oh, I got married, so that's the rest of my life set. You know, it's a very heartbreaking thing, the whole story.
Now, this show tonally is really intense. It had a hold on me throughout all the episodes, and I'm not going to spoil because Hulu is releasing one episode a night, May 9th through May 13th. As Jessica and Melanie got so involved in the case of Candy Montgomery, I was curious if in the end they thought justice was done. Again, I don't want to spoil, but you can Google what happens in the case. I mean, it happened like 40 years ago. I don't know if that's a spoiler or not. Either way, here's what they had to say.
Very tough question. And I mean, I don't feel like I can often be on one side or the other of that, because I wasn't there, and you know, this was such a wild case, and we just don't know where everyone's mindset were at that point. But a life was taken, and you know, I don't know if there's ever any real justice for that, I guess, you know.
I feel like it would be impossible for me to answer without any bias, because I was so protective of Betty. I felt a great love for her. And it's a tragedy. Like, her little kids had to grow up without their mother. It's awful.
It's a really complex story, and the actors really embrace that complexity, which I think makes for a really great TV show. But let me know if you're watching in the comments, let me know what you think, and maybe like and subscribe while you're there. Then head over to popculture.com for the latest in entertainment news. I'm Anna Rumer, and this is Pop Culture Social Call.